The Washington Pride welcomes you to today's first game between the visiting Colgate Raiders and the St.Cloud State Huskies. Thank you to our T1 and DC supporters, Giant Food, the PBAHA, Core Talent Group, the Washington Capitals, Rink Sport, and the Washington Pride. Before and during today's game, pucks, sticks, and other objects may leave the ice surface and land in the seating area. Those safety measures are in place. MedStar Capitals Iceplex, the Washington Pride, and today's teams are not responsible for any injuries that may be incurred due to gameplay. Nobody wants to miss a minute of the action, so we ask you please do not lean forward nor leave your seat during play. Please wait until a stoppage. Please help us keep MedStar Capitals Iceplex clean by throwing your trash away when you leave your seats and after tonight's games. Fans are reminded the interference of the players as they enter or exit the ice is prohibited. However, we do invite you to head on down near the entrances. You might be able to get a high five or a fist bump from one of our players. The Washington Pride and NCAA thank you for your cooperation and hope you enjoy today's game. The parking garage here at MedStar Capitals Iceplex is card and cash free. All payments must be made on your phone or through the pylons that are set up all throughout the garage and here at MedStar Capitals Iceplex. Scan the QR code near your parking space and pay from the comfort of your own phone. Make sure you pay for parking now and cruise right out after the games. Since 2017, the Washington Pride have brought 17 NCAA Division I women's hockey programs to Arlington, Virginia to play an exciting weekend of women's hockey. During that time, we've seen some big games and big names in the world of women's hockey. Some of them have even gone professional. The Washington Pride thank you for being a part of D1 and DC5 and encourage you to visit our website at pridehockey.com. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the scratches for today's game. For the St. Cloud State Huskies, scratch number 6, Lily Erickson. Number 10, Aruba Skeeston. Number 23, Hannah Arnold. Number 45, Reagan Bolger. And number 56, Haley Lawrence. The Colgate Raiders are playing with a full roster.
In the shadow of the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial, it's time for D1 in DC5, live from the MedStar Capitals Iceplex in Arlington, Virginia, as it's the 5th installment of what is now a yearly annual, we're hoping, tradition here in Northern Virginia, as the top teams from around the country in women's Division I hockey take the ice here where the Capitals train, just in the shadow of DC. And this year, we bring in a returner, and that is the Ohio State Buckeyes alongside the Clarkson University Golden Knights. But first, it's the Colgate Raiders and St. Cloud State Huskies that are set to square off to kick off this weekend slate of action. Once again, live here from the Capitals Iceplex, the MedStar Capitals Iceplex. My name is Ian Banky. Be joining you all weekend long here, and what we're hoping now is a yearly Thanksgiving weekend tradition. It had been just about every other year, but we got a slate this year, 2025, and we're setting things up for 2026 as well. We got 4 teams inside the nation's top 25 to kick off action here. And to start us off, it's the 12th ranked road team, Colgate Raiders, taking on the number 14 St. Cloud State Huskies. Both teams trying to get their seasons going in the right foot. Colgate up towards the top of the ECAC. Meanwhile, St. Cloud State, a little bit of growing pains under first-year head coach Mira Yolosuo. Yolosuo is Of course, bringing a lot of experience, the Finland national, former Olympic bronze medalist, world championship bronze medalist as well. But she's trying to get her team to play in her vision. But that would be a great way to do it. Get 2 wins here just outside the nation's capital. And the Huskies are trying to get some footing in the WCHA, coming in ranked 7th in the league. Won't be moving up or down. These are non-conference games, but it's a chance to get some momentum as you head towards the back half of the 2025 portion of the campaign. As the Colgate Raiders have taken to the ice, they'll be wearing the road white uniforms in this matchup. Meanwhile, St. Cloud State, you'll see them in just a moment. They'll be wearing the home blacks. And here are the St. Cloud State Huskies coming up from Minnesota. Looking to play their style of play. Take you down to the ice for the introductions, the starters, and the national anthem in just a few moments. Raiders and Huskies starting off D1 and DC5 here just outside the nation's capital.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet the starting lineup for today's game. First, the visiting St. Cloud State Huskies. Starting in goal, a sophomore from Nokia, Finland, number 42, Amelia Carrico. Starting on defense, a graduate from Alatola, Minnesota, number 8, Grace Wolf. Also on defense, a first year from Sherbrooke, Quebec, number 14, Miley Pion. At left wing, a first year from Moscow, Russia, number 44, Maria McKinley. At center, a redshirt junior from Regensburg, Switzerland, number 11, Laura Zimmerman. And at right wing, a junior from Sherbrooke, Quebec, number 4, Alice Soria. The coaches for the Huskies are Janelle Sergey and Dora Ratu. The head coach is Mira Yamasudo. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for the Colgate Raiders. Starting in goal, a first year from Red Deer, Alberta, number 1, Brooke Davis. Starting on defense, a senior from Port Huron, Michigan, number 11, Casey Portal. Also on defense, a junior from St. Cloud, Manitoba, number 21, Avery Pickering. At left wing, a junior from London, Ontario, number 44, Emma Payne. At center, a senior from Antigonish, Nova Scotia, number 22, Sarah Stewart. And in right wing, a senior from Balcony, Saskatchewan, number 4, Alexis Peckford. The staff for the Raiders, the assistants are Brian Wilson Bennett and Alex Gittins. The head coach is Stefan DeCoste. And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and direct your attention to the American flag, located at the Colgate end of the arena for the playing of our national anthem.
National anthem sets the table for the action here today, as it's a busy slate of action in the DC area in terms of hockey. The two games here, D1 and DC5, before the Washington Capitals play host to the Toronto Maple Leafs at Capital One Arena later tonight. But for right now, the Raiders and the Huskies have the spotlight. The homestanding Raiders, correcting that information from earlier. The Colgate Raiders come in with a record of 8-7-1. In case you missed it, here are their starters under second-year head coach Stefan DeCosse. At right wing, it's Alexis Petford. At center, it's Sarah Stewart. And on her left wing, it's Emma Pice, one of the leading scorers in the nation. On defense, Casey Borgiel, and she'll be paired up alongside her defensive pairing partner, Avery Pickering. In goal, Brooke Davis, a 5-3-1 record for the first-year student from Red Deer, Alberta. And she comes in with a sterling save percentage of .924. On the other side for the St. Cloud State Huskies, they come in with a record of 5-10-1. Looking to move their way up, though. Ranked 14th in the country. Forwards to start, Elise Soriol, alongside her partners, Laura Zimmerman. And on the left wing, it's Maria Mikhalian. Mikhalian, a star first-year student out of Russia. On defense, Grace Wolf, the captain for this Husky squad, alongside Miley Pion. And in goal, Emma Kuriku, one of the top goaltenders in the country. Sticks down, pucks down. We're underway here just outside the nation's capital. D1 and DC5. An early chance here. Moving in from the far side. A rip shot just sent wide by Colgate early on. It was Pice. Heading up the other way, St. Cloud State able to clear their lines as Zimmerman is able to chase it in. Nice find from Pice as she links up, moving through center, Sarah Stewart. But this move into the zone, trying to find Sydney Sawyer, but that pass just drew her offside. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast, St. Cloud State under the direction of Mira Yolosuo. Yolosuo, the first-year head coach, brings a lot of experience and pairs up with a lot of experience for the St. Cloud State team. This is pounded in by the Raiders. The Raiders are going to bring an aggressive brand of hockey. They like to crowd the net, look for a lot of redirections when they're able to set up in the attacking end. Puck turned over to St. Cloud State as they go on the move. Moving in, Sydney Lamb. Lamb pivots to her right, takes it down low. Lamb looks for the link up with Mustonen. Riley Mustonen pinned to the wall. Physical play there on the Colgate D. Still pinned up against the half wall, now to the near side. Looking for Mustonen, but that's taken away, and Colgate able to clear their lines. Emma Beauchamp, the first-year student from Gatineau, Quebec, is able to send it out as Colgate's able to change. Mustonen finishing out her shift, able to pin it in deep for St. Cloud. Jamie Spring looking to move forward here for the Raiders. She finds some room. And moving up the left wing now, it's Sarah Stewart. Stewart guides it on. That's a nice move in. Looking for the pass out in front. Alexia Oben couldn't find a passing partner. Now numbers forward for St. Cloud if they hurry. Moving through and past the red line. It's Volt moving in. A shot just sent high. It was Peyton Holloway that found some space in front. Good chances early. Still looking for the tie-breaking goal as here's a shot off a turnover. A good early save from Brooke Davis, and she needed to be on her toes after the puck found Svenja Volt. Got to be careful with those breakout passes. Volt just lurked in the zone for a moment there for St. Cloud. She forced a turnover, and Volt, senior student from Cologne, Germany, she has a really good shot. She has some top-level experience with the national team for the Germans. Just missed out on a chance to break the scoreless tie. Off the face-off win, St. Cloud State move it down low. It was Mikhalian that was looking for some help. Stays in up top. Looking for the redirect that's blocked in front. Good stick positioning by Casey Borgiel. And now a counterattack starts for Colgate. Pass back to Borgiel. Borgiel looking for some help. No-look pass comes down low. Links up with Pice. Borgiel across to Avery Pickering. Pickering, dasher pass. It comes out in front of goal, but Kuriku is able to shut that down with the trapper. Mentioned Kuriku, one of the top goaltenders in the country, a sophomore student from Nokia, Finland. They're known for their indestructible phones, but mean, she has a chest protector full of those phones herself. 942 save percentage, that figure leads the WCHA. One of the top marks in the country as well. Tripped up off the draw, no call as Biederman tries to shoot from her knees. No luck on that move as Sophiana Sunderland moves up forward for St. Cloud State. Poked to safety by Brooke Davis in her net. Colgate looking to move forward, finding some room on the right wing is Biederman. But Biederman only able to clear for a few moments as St. Cloud goes for a change on mass. Look out here, nearly another turnover. St. Cloud State just unable to hold that in the zone with Holloway. But now Farrell moves forward, finding a player in stride. That's McCallion. Rather, pardon, that's Orela. Suri Orela, the Finnish native. Tries to set things up for the Huskies, but that takes a bad bounce, and Alyssa Biederman moves in all alone. Biederman just couldn't move around that last defender. Is able to set things up now for the Raiders. Biederman still with the puck. Fires that to the corner. She heads to the bench. Ava Wood on the near side. A point pass. Looking for the redirect, but that's gobbled up by Amelia Kariku. There's a shot from long range. Trying for the redirect off that look from long range, Sydney Sawyer. Not redirected enough. Right idea, just couldn't time that up with the move out in front. But like we mentioned earlier, Colgate likes to commit bodies in front of net, likes to take away the eyes of the goaltender. Huskies going to have to keep that in mind. Loose puck swiped out of the zone. St. Cloud tried to chase after it, but whacked ahead by Borgiel as they are able to relieve the defensive pressure for just a few moments. Look out, puck turned over to Madeline Palumbo. Palumbo looks out in front. That's a great save from Kariku, shutting down Alexia Oben. Best chance to score in the game, but the sophomore goaltender able to keep it out of the back of the net. Still here near side, Pickering links up. It's Palumbo with the shot. Pad save that time by Kariku. Good shift here for Colgate. Finally getting some reinforcements, but St. Cloud able to get possession until Borgiel picks that pass up. Quickly back in, it's Biederman. Biederman looking out in front. Stick save. Kariku took that look away from the player right out in front. Pass intercepted on the far side. Chance to move forward for Laura Zimmerman, the Swiss native. As she slows things down, able to finish off that change now are the St. Cloud State Huskies. Colgate playing really good hockey as of late. Won their last two, but that really doesn't show it. Only one regulation loss in their last 9, but here's a chance for St. Cloud State. Ripped just wide by Sydney Lamb. Chance back out in front looking for Lamb, but the Raiders able to shut that down. Heading up the other way, Dorothy Capetti. Fourth line out there now. Shifting around, it's Emma Pice. A little bit of mismatch on the lines. Pice just denied on the doorstep. This hit a player off the bench, but referees let play continue. Shadow leg dangling over, not a case of too many players on the ice. And look out here, nearly catching Colgate with too many players out there, but just able to get back to the bench, avoiding the penalty. Bumper pass set up here on the move, it's Stewart. Stewart looking for the trailer in Petford. Instead skips her, comes down to the far side half wall. Emma Pice looking for some help, but her move picked off by the captain for St. Cloud and Grace Wolf. As this is sent clear, will it have the legs for icing? It will not. A bad bounce here, sent back out in front, just guided wide by Davis. Good move, staying in the zone, Peyton Remick. Remick looking down low for Holloway, couldn't link up with her. Puck turned over, but then taken right back by Petford, the senior defender from Saskatchewan. Nice angle in, it's McCallion looking for a lane, that's taken away. Stays down low, looking for the shovel pass in front, sticks tied up. That move blocked away by Zimmerman, still loose in front. And finally finding it with the glove is Amelia Kariku, and she holds for a much needed whistle. See, there was a really good move in, rather that was by a couple players there from St. Cloud State, trying to clear out the crease, but Emma Beauchamp had the best chance for Colgate, finally able to get a shot off. But no problem at all from Kariku, able to shut that down. Already, Kariku with some key saves in this game, keeping us scoreless. This puck sent all the way down by the Huskies. It is the first icing call of the game. 13:33 left to go in period one. Still no score between Colgate and St. Cloud, two teams inside the top 15. We'll be saying that all weekend long, as the Huskies and Raiders rank 14th and 12th respectively in the country. Tie up off the draw. Colgate still trying to get possession here, and they do. Finally scooped up by Oben. Oben tripped up as she spilled down to the ice. And now the Huskies do touch up. It's Sydney Lamb heading to the box. Rather, they change their mind on who it's going to be. Heading to the sin bin, it's Miley Pion. It's one of the key defenders out there, or a top pairing defender, in fact, as the freshman from Sherbrooke, Quebec, heads to the box for two, and the first power play of the game belongs to Colgate. Raiders on the air, fairly solid on the power play, right at 20%, tied for 13th in the country. Mixed up here, it's Sorial to the box. Colgate with that 20% power play, it works on the move. Heading inside, Langling right out in front. Great stop through the 5-hole. It's Kuriku shutting down Borgiel. Chance not over. Reset for Borgiel up top. Looking to the near side, just mishandled by Senecal. Borgiel moves in for the face-off circle. Kick save, juicy rebound. That's picked up, carried away by Avery Farrell. Farrell has a look shorthanded. Farrell, lead pass. Here's a shot blocker save from Davis. It was Peyton Holloway with the shorthanded look off the setup pass. Good chances for both teams here. Still Colgate, a player to the good for the next minute 5. St. Cloud this year, it's been a struggle on the penalty kill, sitting 42nd in the nation. They killed 7 of 8 last weekend against Bemidji State, a series they split. Tied up on the near side wall, several players committed for each team. Colgate comes away with it, looking down low, it's Beauchamp. Beauchamp looked out in front, loose puck, picked up there by Oben. Oben circles up top. Playing catch a bit with Pickering, looking out in front, nobody home. Able to race to that, keeping alive Dorothy Capetti. Pickering, back over for Oben, looking for the redirection out in front, it's loose, never got through. Still down behind the net, looking for the point, but not occupying it there. Capetti comes all the way clear. Last second change here for St. Cloud State. Still a few seconds left on the power play. Oben dangles through. That pass just a little off the mark for Chloe Goofers. And the pass back to Oben comes out of the zone. And Sorial out of the box. We're back to 5-a-side hockey. Good early sign there for St. Cloud State. A good work on the penalty kill. Few heartbeats skipped there, but still able to kill off those 2 minutes. Now LeBay carries forward for the Huskies. LeBay, a long-range shot, snared that time by the netminder, first-year student from Red Deer, Alberta, in Brooke Davis. Good end-to-end hockey here. It seemed like Colgate was really generating some momentum, and that power play looked really good, at least in the early going. But after that, St. Cloud State able to put the clamps on that. They got that one short-handed look. And now with the offensive zone draw, Laura Zimmerman tries to win it back, and she does with the help of Alice Sorial. Looking out in front, that was Zimmerman, and it's just knocked away before McKellian could get there. And now numbers the other way for Colgate, heading up the far side. It's Biederman, but she's tumbled down by the opposite number 8, Grace Wolf. And whistle is blown here as Biederman lost her bucket behind the play. And the officials making sure everything is on the up and up there. The whistle blows and we get a break. 10:42 left to go, first period. Still scoreless. St. Cloud State this year, their biggest .4 improvement, something they're looking to improve, has been their defensive struggles, allowing over 3 goals per game. That ranks 36 out of the 45 Division I teams in the country. So there's a long-range shot, stick to side from Davis. So far, so good on the defensive end. We're still looking to break this deadlock. Hard work against the boards. Coming away with the puck for St. Cloud, it's Sunderland. Sunderland looking for some help there on the near side. Can't find any. Sent back along by Riley Mustonen. Still battled for. Finally gotten out to the blue line for Mustonen, but no further. On the return, Mustonen just poked away. Good work there by Taylor Senecal. Senecal on the defensive posture, but it still can't come clear. Long shot, punched away by the netminder Davis. Sent back down below the blue line and held there by Avery Farrell. Farrell triple team, but they still can't get the puck off of her. Great work here, winning these board battles by the Huskies. Holding it in, it's the captain Wolf. Wolf, her pass not tape to tape. And it finally comes clear, but the stick lift jars the puck loose from Ava Wood. It's still battled for possession. Wolf tumbled down, and now some open ice cutting up the other way. It's Pice. And Pice trying to split the D, but it's swept away. Good work by the stick of McCallion heading back on defense. In her own zone, Jamie Spring trying to get it out of there for Colgate. Players stumbled down. It comes back to the center ice logo. No further than that, though, held in by Orela. Orela trying to find that long pass up the far side, but Zimmerman can't reel it in for the Huskies. Alexis Petford looking to move forward. Just some miscommunication there as Pice collides with Zimmerman. Zimmerman able to get her skates back underneath her. This puck moved back in. Davis sends it back along the dasher. Zimmerman, head fake on the pass, shifts it down low. Laura Zimmerman tried the backhanded feed out in front. Set a little self-pass over the left wing. McCallion, she loves to shoot the puck. Instead gives it up, comes back up top towards Moran. McCallion tried the redirect, took a lot of the steam off that shot. And Davis able to scoop that one up for the whistle. 8:31 to go here in the first. Washington Capitals, proud partners of this tournament, the D1 and DC tournament in its 5th installation. Capitals take it to the ice just up the road, Capital One Arena later tonight, taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs as there's a penalty coming up here against Colgate on the near side. Loose puck picked up now by the Raiders, and they head to the penalty kill for the first time today. Call goes against Alyssa Biederman. Minor penalty for roughing, and now it's St. Cloud State that gets to have a chance to convert on this recent momentum as they head to the power play. Special thanks to Giant Food in the Washington, D.C. metro area. For more information, check them out at www.giantfood.com. Officials making sure they got everything squared away here at the scores table, as it will be a player for Colgate in the box and Alyssa Biederman as players head over to the bench. And it looks like we get an official timeout here as the players catch a breath. 8:16 left to go, period one. Scoreless game between St. Cloud State and Colgate. Get a chance here to thank some more of our sponsors. First off, the JWHL. Junior Women's Hockey League is the premier junior-style hockey league for female players in North America. Several players competing in D1 and DC played in the JWHL during their high school years, including a few players here in this game from Colgate: Avery Pickering, Leanna Seeley, and Alexia Oben, all suited up in the JWHL. Meanwhile, on the other side, Alice Sorial, Svenja Volt, and Maylee Peon all played in the JWHL, and they now play collegiately at St. Cloud State. See a lot of those players right here, right now, and also coming up in January, flip the calendar over, we'll have the premier women's hockey level played here in North America. In the Pro players take it to the ice at Capital One Arena. New York Sirens, they'll be taking on the Montreal Victoire January 15th. That's one that you'll want to catch as the PWHL takes to the ice in DC. Meanwhile, it's D1 in DC, the NCAA taking the ice here as St. Cloud State begins their power play. Looking on the near side, holding there is Urela. Cross-ice feed just out of the reach of Grace Wolf. Able to hold it in as it comes down low to Soriel. Back to Wolf. Couldn't set that up for the one-timer. Around the outside, Grace Wolf, long-range shot. That got through. The jam just sent wide by Zimmerman. Colgate able to clear, but that was a dangerous setup from Grace Wolf. She was looking for the shot. It caromed right in front to Laura Zimmerman, but she couldn't find the net. Look up the far side. St. Cloud State working forward. Nice move to Soriel. Soriel working against two defenders for Colgate, but she moves it down low. Set feed out in front, they score! Sophiana Sunderland cashes in, and the Huskies break the ice here in period one. Just great puck movement here, and left all alone out in front was Sunderland. And Sunderland able to knock it home. Her fourth goal of the year, first on the power play. As the Huskies take a 1-0 lead, 7:24 left to go in the first. You saw that coming as soon as the puck was held in by St. Cloud State. They're doing a good job of holding in the zone. After that initial clear by the Raiders, and a much-needed power play goal for St. Cloud. They have been struggling on the player advantage all year long. They're able to take the lead, up 5-4 on the player advantage. So it's Sunderland officially getting credit for the goal. Junior from Finland. As the Colgate Raiders looking for an answer here. Peyton Holloway, the lone assist for the moment. We'll see if they tack on that secondary helper. But right now, it's Sunderland from Holloway giving St. Cloud State the 1-0 advantage. Looking for more as Holloway carries in, sends it caddy corner here. Able to get a change as Colgate trying to use that to their advantage. Michaelian skates quick, the first-year student out of Russia. Holds it down low as they're able to finish off that change and try to set something up in the O-zone. Carried away quickly by St. Cloud State. Trying to make some progress there was Peong, but no luck there. Guiding it forward, Sarah Stewart, the senior from Nova Scotia. Tied up along the wall by McCallion. Still battle for on the far side. Casey Borgiel with it. Borgiel trying to find some help there on the far side wall. Looked to move it down to Alexis Petford, but couldn't connect the dots. Instead, spits out near side to Pickering. Pickering along the dasher with Petford. Petford was hoping for some help there left wing, but the puck turned over. Nearly given right back to Colgate. It's still loose here at the blue line. Pickering able to stake out there and send this one further along, but settled down by Grace Wolf for St. Cloud State. LeBay waiting for it at the attacking blue line. Julianne LeBay coughed it up, heading up the ice now. It's Palumbo. Madeline Palumbo wraps that one around. A few forwards spilling over the boards for the Raiders. Colgate right now just going one and done on the offensive attack. They haven't been able to set things up ever since that failed power play. Kariku trying to get that one out of the zone. Can't get the help she needed. Dorothy Capetti tied up, though, for Colgate. Puck spills over to the near side. It's kicked away. And now on the move forward, guiding its way in. Sydney Jackal fires one. But in goal, and able to scoop that one up, is Brooke Davis. That's just something that you need to turn the tides here. A look from a fourth-line right winger, Sydney Jackal. Junior transfer from Lindenwood University, making her presence felt down there. She's been able to contribute whenever her number's been called this season. 1 goal, and that goes along with 4 assists. In the final 5 here in period 1, still that 1-0 lead for St. Cloud State. Colgate still looking for that answer, trying to tie this one up. This could not be knocked down. No icing on this play after it did take a tip off of Sydney Sawyer. Play stays alive. Colgate, though, able to clear their lines, and now racing to it. Alyssa Biederman, but Biederman just beaten out there. Biederman sticks with the play, forces a turnover. Biederman moves in, looks for the pass, back to Biederman, and she scores! What a hustle play by Alyssa Biederman. We're tied up at 1. Biederman lost out on that race, but stuck with it. And the link up there with Alexia Oben and Biederman, that wide open net. Nothing at all that Carrico could do. And the game-tying goal from Alyssa Biederman makes it 1-1 with 4:11 to go in the first. 8th goal of the season. Biederman coming up on that 100th assist mark on her collegiate career, but she does the dirty work herself. 8th goal of the season, 61st of her collegiate career.
8th goal of the season, number 8, Alyssa Biederman.
8th goal of the year for number 8. Makes it a 1-1 hockey game as we're into the final 4 minutes of the first period. Colgate getting that much-needed game-tying tally and looking for more now. Stripping that one away is Palumbo. It's a scrum here on the far side corner, getting into it as a whistle is blown here after a hand pass. And tempers flaring on the far side corner. At least one player heading to the box. That's Zimmerman for St. Cloud State, but it's like she's going to have some company. The referees will even things up here as Alexia Oben joins her in the box. And we'll stay 3 aside between the two teams. Oben, after getting that set up on the game-tying goal, Oben, after that helper, continues a nice season that she's been having, 12th assist of the year, and she's up to 17 points through 17 games. It's always nice to have a point-per-game player heading up that second line. She's a second-line center. She sits for 2 for roughing alongside Laura Zimmerman. So some extra space out there for these two teams, 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes. It'll be holding the official call. As Senecal moves in, that shot comes off the stick of the netminder in Carrico. Stays down low, crouching down to get it is Alyssa Biederman. Biederman out in front, just lost the handle as she went up for the shot. Back out to center ice here in Arlington, Virginia. Some space over on the left side. Moving forward, it's Pice. Pice, the rip of a shot, just whistled that one by the near side post. As it spits out now, just able to rescue for defense, but it comes a little bit further back. Pice had to wheel back for that one. St. Cloud State reorganizes on defense as Emma Pice moves in. Pice looked for the trailer just underneath the stick blade of Avery Pickering. Comes all the way back down for the Raiders. Minute left to go here on the 4-on-4. Going behind her own net, Casey Borgiel. Moving forward with Avery Pickering. Borgiel, the A on her chest. One of the assistant captains here for Colgate. Sends that around behind the back of the net. Meeting it there, though, is Amelia Carrico. Can't come out. Pickering. Guard on the far side boards. Linking up down low. Wheeling it around Borgiel. Looking out in front off the shot. Palumbo just tipped high. Might have taken a deflection there by a defensive skate. Colgate able to keep this one in. 15 seconds left on the 4-on-4. St. Cloud moves forward 2-on-2. Now some help coming. Looking back out in front. That pass just behind the intended target. Looked to be Sydney Lamb. Both players out of the sin bin. 5-a-side hockey. And right out of the box, Zimmerman gets stuck in. Laura Zimmerman lost a skate edge there as she was working up against the defender, Goofers. Oh, but tripped up there and heading back to the power play, St. Cloud State. As the goal scorer, Sunderland, that was trying to make some progress on the near side. But she was tripped up by her marker, Ava Sveikovsky. Sveikovsky sits for 2, and with 1:17 left to go in the first, St. Cloud a chance to get back out in front on the power play. Special thanks to the Potomac Valley Amateur Hockey Association for their support of the D1 in DC tournament.
2 minutes for trivia. Time of the penalty, 18:43. That's Rangers.
Already one power play goal in the game for St. Cloud State. They're looking for more.
18:43.
Rayla sent this one down low, looking for the return. Rayla able to kick this one down at the stripe. Soriel finds Zimmerman. Zimmerman dances in. Zimmerman fans on the shot. She's still with it. Rayla back down low to Soriel. Alice Soriel. McKaylin. Back down low for McKaylin. Up top. There's a shot redirect in front from Zimmerman, but able to stick with it all the way and make the save is Brooke Davis. Mentioned it, and you see it right there, just trying to commit bodies out in front, making things difficult for the netminder. Davis had to track that one all the way from the point. It was Wolf the initial shot. Zimmerman got a piece of it right in front, but not enough to get it out of her reach. Huskies take the draw. 30 seconds left to go in the first. Wolf around the dasher, trying to find Soriel. Too hot for her to handle, but Arela helps her out up top. Cross-side feed, McKaylin. McKaylin back on it. McKaylin rips one, just too high. Arela, near side corner. Out in front, Zimmerman ripped over the crossbar and out of play. Puck just would not settle for Laura Zimmerman, the redshirt junior out of Switzerland. Just fired that over the crossbar. Good setup play. Had her all alone out in front. The puck had other ideas. Hit the other pair of netting. The netting behind the goals here at MedStar Capitals Iceplex. One more face-off. St. Cloud wins it. 5 seconds and counting as a shot from Wolf tipped up high. Final seconds tick off the clock and the buzzer sounds to bring an end to the first period of play. And after 20 minutes, we're all level at 1 goal apiece. St. Cloud State took the early lead off the goal, fired in to the back of the net by a fantastic play, heading over and out in front. The junior from Finland, Sofiana Sunderland, able to cash in on the power play. But on the other side, Colgate, a few minutes later, able to tie this one up. The hustle play from Alyssa Biederman forced a turnover, and the give and go on the link up with Alexia Oben tied us up, and the 1 goal apiece is all that we have to write home about after 1 period. When we come back, 42 seconds left of power play time for St. Cloud State Huskies to work with, but the Huskies and Raiders all knotted up 1 goal apiece after 1. We'll be back with more action for the D1 and DC5 tournament when we come back to the MedStar Capitals Iceplex.
Sponsorships and NIL strategy and representation at the highest levels. For more information and for your future NCAA athlete, visit thecoretalentgroup.com. Since 2017, the Washington Pride have brought 17 NCAA Division I women's hockey programs to Arlington, Virginia to play an exciting weekend of women's hockey. During that time, we've seen some big games and big names in the world of women's hockey. The Washington Pride thank you for being a part of D1 and DC5 and encourage you to visit our website at www.pridehockey.com. D1 and DC5 continues tomorrow as St.Cloud State will take on Clarkson at 2 p.m. here at MedStar Capitals Iceplex. Colgate will take on Ohio State tomorrow at 5 p.m. in a Oktoberfest rematch. St.Cloud State will then head back to the Herb Brooks National Hockey Center in the new year on Saturday, January 3rd for a 2 p.m. puck drop against another former D1 and DC team, St. Thomas. The following weekend will be the big rematch against two-time D1 and DC opponent, Ohio State in St. Cloud. For more on all St. Cloud State athletics, visit scsuhuskies.com. Colgate will be in action Friday, December 5th at 6 p.m. at the Class of 1965 Arena in Hamilton, New York to take on ECAC opponent, Princeton. They'll be back in action for Youth and Rising Raiders Appreciation Day on Saturday, December 6th at 3 p.m. against Quinnipiac. For more information on upcoming Colgate events, visit www.colgateathletics.com. The NCAA, ECAC, WCHA, and its member schools ask all participants to support our shared goal of promoting positive sportsmanship in an exciting and respectful sporting environment. We request your help in establishing an atmosphere that is free from the use of profanity, vulgarity, racial or sexist comments, personal insults, and other intimidating actions directed at student athletes, coaches, officials, and team representatives. Such actions will not be tolerated and may result in removal from MedStar Capitals Iceplex. Creating a positive environment and an enjoyable experience for all starts with you. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the ice, the Colgate Raiders. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the ice, the St.Cloud State Huskies.
We're bringing it back into the MedStar Capitals Iceplex for period 2 between the St. Cloud State Huskies and Colgate Raiders. All tied up 1 goal apiece after 20 minutes of play. St. Cloud State struck first on the 4th goal of the season from Sofiana Sunderland, a power play strike at that, before Colgate tied it up on the fantastic effort from Alyssa Biederman and a link up with her line mate at the moment, Alexia Olben. The strip by Biederman, the pass over to Olben, and the find to give it back to her for the game-tying goal. For Biederman, it was her 8th goal of the season, and that has us tied 1 goal each. After the first period, we start the second with some 5-on-4 hockey. The second power play look for the St. Cloud State Huskies. Still 42 seconds left to work on the penalty at the end of the frame. It was a penalty assessed to Ava Sveikovsky for tripping before the period came to an end. So we start the second with a little bit of extra power play time spilling over for the Huskies. Saw some really good goaltending in that first period as well. Amelia Kariku for St. Cloud. On the other end, Brooke Davis for Colgate. Doing a good job of just limiting each team to the 1 goal. It was Kariku that had a lot more to do earlier in the period before Davis was tested later on. But it's 1 goal each as we have a little bit of a delay to start period 2, but it seems like we have gotten the green light now. Colgate coming in, just 1 regulation loss in their last 9 games. Meanwhile, St. Cloud State on a bit of a skid as of late. Trying to get back on track here after a split against Bemidji State last weekend. We're underway here in period 2 as the Huskies still go to work on the power play. About 30 seconds left now as the clock ticks here in the middle frame. Good work there on the forecheck by Palumbo, just keeping things honest here for Colgate. As now there's some space opening up for Sorial. Sorial looking in the middle. Zimmerman had her stick tied up. It's held in for a moment, but scooping over there, Madeline Palumbo sending it the rest of the way down. Still a few seconds remaining on this power play to start the second for St. Cloud. They use those remaining seconds to change lines, and they fall to 1 for 2 on the power play so far this afternoon. Tipped in the attacking zone by Riley Mustonen. Mustonen getting back into her spot over on the far side, swooping over here as players collide on the near sideboards. Mustonen comes away with possession. Sent down low, looking for Kalian. Kalian spilled down there as it comes all the way clear. This just stays in play, tipped off the high part of the glass before it comes back down. Some room opens up for Miley Pion. Pion looked for the far side feed out of the reach of Avery Farrell. Farrell back on it, her shot deflected, but it still comes on goal, forcing Brooke Davis into action here early on in period 2. This is the first time that these two programs have met up since October of 2017. And that was a weekend sweep by the Raiders. They swept away the Huskies by a aggregate score of 8-0. So already St. Cloud more active on the offensive side than they were nearly a decade ago. Olben spins down to her rear as she tried to go on the counterattack for the Raiders. As this one skied up and out of play as it glances off the netting. And the initial signal looks like the faceoff will stay in the defensive zone for St. Cloud State. A lot of turnovers since then, and some of those players have gone on to play professionally that took to the rink back then in 2017. And see a handful of those players here in D.C. January 18th as the New York Sirens take on the Montreal Victoire. As this one is deflected out of play. St. Cloud head coach Mary Olusowo has some experience coaching at the professional level. Lusuo was the assistant coach for the Minnesota Frost the last 2 seasons, and she was part of the coaching staff that guided the Frost to 2 straight championships in the PWHL to open up that league's history, as this one is whistled down for offside. A player just a step ahead there for St. Cloud State as they wanted to move ahead. Lusuo is bringing that professional level experience now, and especially her experience as a professional defender. She thrived on the defensive coaching elements during her time here with St. Cloud State as an assistant coach. Now as the head coach for this Huskies program. The Huskies trapped in their own end, looking to move forward. The puck is loose. To the rescue here is Alice Soriol. Soriol looking to link up with McCallion, trying to cherry pick in behind the D. No luck there for McCallion, but she's still being a thorn in the side. Puck does stay in with Wolf. The redirection from McCallion out in front, and Davis has to slide across to hug it to her chest. Great work there from the freshman student from Moscow, Russia, Maria McCallion, just getting out in front, never giving up on the play, and generating a pretty solid scoring chance. Off the face-off win, Colgate working quickly ahead up the near side. It's Emma Beauchamp. Beauchamp looking to get that one back. Get some help here with Biederman. Biederman flips that one all the way up top. Pounded off the near sideboard. Sent back along by Taylor Senecal. Senecal out in front. There's a chance, swing and a miss. And the second try, another swing and a miss from Beauchamp. Senecal down low. Her pass cut off by Pion. Pion gave it right back. Goofers, eyes out in front. Goofers just sends that through the crease. Beauchamp picks up the loose puck, shoots one, and that's blockered down by the netminder in Kariku. Good job finding that one through a screen. Kariku makes a good save. Skying this one clear, the St. Cloud defense. It will not have the legs for icing, forcing Madeline Palumbo to play it in her own end. Palumbo ahead of steam. She comes through center ice. St. Cloud gets the forwards off, as does the Colgate Raiders. Palumbo back out at neutral ice, wanting to get the blue line again. This play is whistled down, and it looked like it was Sarah Stewart that was just a step ahead. Led by Washington native Haley Skarupa, the Core Talent Group can help your daughter with her NCAA or pro hockey aspirations. Be sure to check out Core Talent Group, either online or come out tomorrow, as the Core Talent Group will be here for day 2 of the D1 and DC tournament. This ripped into the attacking zone. Marie Moran able to get off to the bench to complete that change for the Huskies. A loose puck here coming back towards the net, but defender able to get there on it for the Raiders. Slick pass linking up here with Avery Pickering. Pickering collides with the defender that time in Volk. Looking all alone here near side. Here comes Remick. Remick behind the D. Great recovery on the defensive side from Casey Borgiel. Borgiel lifted the stick, prevented the shot coming in from Remick before she could even think about firing that one towards the cage. We stayed knotted up, 1 goal apiece, as Emma Pace moves inside. Pace moving over for a shot. That was Petford, but her effort is blocked down by the opposite number 4 in Soriol. Soriol with some help from her partner on defense that time in Holloway. This one moved in by St. Cloud State, but don't have the numbers, just sent in towards Davis in net. Nice, moving that one forward, finding the link up, moving in. It's Stewart, slams on the brakes. Sarah Stewart tried to find it back to Pice, but couldn't keep the zone, and now some space opens up far side. Trying for the shot in was Pion, denied, loose puck, nearly found McCallion. Pion there as well. Neither could get there, and instead a White heading up the other way. It's Beauchamp. Beauchamp 1-on-2. Spins, looks for the pass for the trailer St.Cloud behind her, but Biederman holds it. Chloe Goofers want to return that to St.Cloud at the blue line, but to no avail. Comes all the way back down on the defensive side of things for Svedkowski. Oh, nice pass. Moving forward, Biederman. Biederman to Goofers. Goofers the backhand, just guided wide. Chloe Goofers might have got that one off the pad of Kariku, just barely glanced it, and that was enough to keep it out of the net. Chloe Goofers back towards the middle. That's cut off quickly by Sydney Bryant, redshirt sophomore from Traverse City, Michigan. Sunderland, the goal scorer, trying to work forward there. Had some numbers, but is left alone near side and caught in the middle of a change. St.Cloud just able to get back that time before Sarah Roger could get towards the net. Now a good bounce, sets up an attack up the other way. Trying to set that up on the one-time tee. Volk swing and a miss. Comes up top for Moran. Redirection twice, and that one just barely glanced off of Davis. Took a couple of deflections. It was Peyton Remick that got the last tip. Heading up the other way, and that pass just out of the reach of Roger. End-to-end we go. Holloway. Holloway couldn't get the pass over, and now Isons opens up here for Capetti. Capetti just underneath the stick blade of Madeline Palumbo. Zimmerman, fresh off the bench. Nice pass in. The shot shut down from Davis. In close was Sorial, but she couldn't get enough elevation on it. Round of applause from the fans here. They're loving this wide open hockey. Zimmerman couldn't get to that slot pass. Colgate head up the other way now on the clear with Palumbo. Madeline Palumbo. Drop pass here, shifting in Ava Wood. Wood behind the crease, try to find it back to Palumbo. Won't connect there, but a pair of Raiders here link up near side. Oben dangles around. Alexia Oben tried the backhanded feed, but she gets it back instead. Oben, the long-range shot off the pad of the netminder Kariku. Collision here near side. The bodies cancel out, and it's taken clear up the other way with Alice Sorial. Sorial finds Zimmerman. Zimmerman's hauled down. No call, a clean defensive play by Casey Borgiel. Breakneck pace in this one now. Still 1-1 tie. Oben looked to move that one down low. Kruger got a piece of that on the deflection. And now Maya Kruger tries to work clear for St.Cloud, but it's pinned back in by Pickering. Finishing off her shift. Finding some room far side. Miley Pion, rather that's Sunderland. Sunderland able to guide this around as St.Cloud gets a full change here, all five heading off the ice. Sunderland finishing off her shift with a quick forecheck there. Move back down low where Amelia Kariku can cut that off. Turn it over though. Colgate, a chance looking over to the near side, and St.Cloud just not on the same page with Pace, who is heading off to the bench. St.Cloud kicks this one down, keeps it in. Taylor St.Cloud a shot. Glove save Kariku. Stays in the zone for a few moments before Julian LeBay can take the clear for the Huskies. A few really good shifts here for the Raiders offense. Keeping the puck in, and again, force a turnover, looking out in front. Just not ready for that pass was Chloe Goofers. If she was all alone in front. Goofers now down low. And that pass cut off by the goal scorer for St.Cloud, Sunderland. Finally taken clear by the Huskies. Some tired legs out there, but with long change, they can't get off. Behind her net, Kariku, nearly forced into a turnover, but now the Raiders able to jump on it. Back with possession behind her own net, Siri Orela. Orela wanted to go to the near side to get that one out. Finally taken clear, and a few tired players can head off for St.Cloud, but not all of them. Catching them in a change, coming back in, Goofers. There's a shot, kick out, stop Kariku. Much needed kick out save there off the Jamie Springs effort. Stays in for Colgate. Now finally taken out to safety by Peyton Holloway. That line change can be completed. Now a chance off a turnover and a blocker save from Davis off the look from McCallion. Best chance in a long time for St. Cloud State, but we're still deadlocked 1 goal each. Look out here, a penalty called against the Colgate Raiders. It'll be a trip issued here against Sydney Sawyer off the turnover to Miley Pion. That's one of those accidentally on purpose calls as Sawyer saw that turnover, and if it wasn't for that quick trip, all alone on goal was Miley Pion. And with 9:21 to go in the second period, St. Cloud State heading back to the power play for the third time today. Officials timeout here at the MedStar Capitals Iceplex in the DC metro area. St. Cloud State and Colgate all tied at 1 goal each. Before we pick play back up, a special shout out to Rink Sport. The Rink Sport College Prep hockey camps have been helping female high school players since 1993. Check them out at www.rinksport.com. And also to our friends at the Washington Pride, sending over 160 girls to NCAA D1 and D3 programs, as well as several national team players and 2 Olympians. The Pride continued to lead girls hockey in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia region. Check them out at www.pridehockey.com. Washington Pride, since the beginning, an integral part of the D1 in DC tournament ever since the first installment. That was a January showcase back in 2017, but moved to Thanksgiving for D1 and DC2, and this showcase has not budged ever since. Face-off comes to the right side of the netminder, Brooke Davis, for Colgate. St. Cloud State wins it off the face-off there on the power play. 1 for 2 on the power play so far tonight, as there was a chance in front for Laura Zimmerman. Puck just bounced away from her, and the Raiders are able to clear. No athletic play in front from the forechecker, and that was Biederman, showing off her long jump skills on skates. That's not easy. Raiders doing a good job not allowing Colgate to set, rather, not allowing St. Cloud State to set anything up on this, now their third power play of the game. And this one sent all the way back down. Huskies have to hit the hard reset button. From behind her own net, it's Arela trying to move this one forward and just losing her balance across the blue line. Avery Farrell is called for offside. Scoring came early in this one, both goals in the first period. It was a power play strike for St. Cloud State. Sophiana Sunderland, her 4th goal of the year. Before that was answered by Alyssa Biederman for Colgate. We've been stuck ever since. St. Cloud win the face-off. This one moved down low by Pion. Pion checked hard against the boards, and another penalty call coming up against Colgate. Lamb fires that one. It's deflected up and off the back netting. Out of play, and it's a long chance on the 5-on-3 coming up for the Huskies. Cross-checking is the call here against the Colgate player heading to the box. Looks to be Jamie Spring, the junior from Cranbrook, British Columbia. And it's 51 seconds now of 5-on-3 time for St. Cloud State. 1 power play goal in this one so far. They would love to get another. Mentioned the power play had been a problem point for them this season, coming in just over 14%. It's around middle of the pack in the country, but a lot of teams bunched up down there around the 10% mark. You want to be ideally a lot higher than that. Chance to up that stat right here with a goal. Wolf just lost the handle on that one, working up against number 11 in Deep Borgiel. Wolf back on it, not in a normal spot down low. It's over to Laura Zimmerman. Zimmerman, the one-touch pass, still loose in the crease, and St. Cloud State unable to convert. Able to pick up her stick now, Brooke Davis, as she was caught in the middle of that scrum. Back down low with Avery Farrell. The reset to Arela. Arela, the give to Wolf, the one-time shot, just glances off the glove of Davis. Arela. Siri Arela moves in. That hit a body in front, Zimmerman. Davis fires one, blocker save, rebound, jamming away at it, Farrell, and Davis able to get on top as the whistle blows. A few good saves from Brooke Davis, keeping this one tied. You see right there on the doorstep, Farrell tried to convert off the rebound. Wolf thought there might have been a puck going across the goal line, but it was not to be. Brooke Davis, first-year student, not playing like it. A lot of experience there for the Albertan, and she keeps this one tied. Sometimes you need your goaltender to be your best penalty killer, and right now that has been the case for the Colgate Raiders. Tie up off the draw. Colgate wins it, and it's sent all the way down. Good effort for Madeline Palumbo. Penalty against Spring, half gone here for Colgate. Still more work to do. Sunderland slowing things down here. Not able to get that one by Palumbo. On the second move, it's sent into the far side with Maya Kruger. Kruger spun down off of that check. Does stay in on the near side now with Lamb. Lamb gives back. LeBay had that lane closed off. Comes back over to the right wing on a link up with Sunderland. Not on the same page. Comes down instead to Peyton Holloway. Holloway gives this one up, and maybe a shorthanded break up the other way. Madeline Palumbo, the 2-on-1. Palumbo takes the shot. Shut down by Amelia Kariku. And now numbers up the other way for St. Cloud State if they hurry. Holloway finds the pass back to Sunderland. Sunderland, the backhanded shot. She scores! Second power play strike for Sophiana Sunderland. And Sunderland gives St. Cloud State the lead right back. That's the risk you take when you go on a shorthanded break. They're caught shorthanded at the back. Are the Colgate Raiders, and Sunderland able to pot her second power play goal of the game. And the Huskies get their noses back out in front 2-1 with 6:17 left to go in period 2. Sunderland came into today just 3 goals on the season, but taking advantage of the power play time. Goals 4 and 5. Put the Huskies up by the score 2-1. Now can the Raiders find a response like they did in the first? Biederman moves back in front, just lost her balance as she went to shoot. Bryant trying to set up the jailbreak. She finds Zimmerman. Or Zimmerman spilled down that time off the check from Borgiel. Pickering trying to move this one clear as Borgiel finds it on the near side. Denied on that initial move. So once again, it's the same pairing that found the goal earlier in the game. Sunderland from Peyton Holloway. Another power play strike. Gives St. Cloud State that 1-goal lead right back. Borgiel looking for that link-up pass, but no luck this time. All the way down for icing against the Raiders. 5:22 left to go in the second period. Second power play goal from Sophiana Sunderland has given the Raiders something to think about here as the Huskies have a 2-1 lead. Faceoff comes to the right side of Davis. It's won by the Huskies. Nice move at the blue line. Pion moves it down low. Try to jam that one out in front. Holloway went off the pad of Brooke Davis, and she's able to clean up the loose scraps on the doorstep. Huskies have been playing with a swagger in their step here in the second period. The power play time, they're able to convert on it. Plenty of chances here in this game. They're 2 for 4 on the player advantage so far this afternoon. And you got to imagine for Colgate, the message from second-year head coach Stefan DeCoste has to be discipline. Can't afford to play shorthanded, especially when you're chasing a goal. Wolf fires that one high and wide off the draw. Another face-off win for St. Cloud State. They've been very good at the dot so far today. Looking to move forward, Alexis Petford. This one takes a deflection. Wolf had a hard time collecting. Petford shovels this one back. Finds Emma Pice, the leading point scorer for this Colgate club. Attempted move forward here. That one took a deflection off a body, and then it might have tipped up into the Colgate bench. And the face-off will come right in front of the Raiders that are waiting to get onto the rink here with 4:43 left to go in the second. Zimmerman this time comes in, wins the face-off, but the puck is turned over to Colgate. Able to keep this one in, and Rayla able to throw the body that time, denying Biederman a chance to move out in front. St. Cloud stayed off the takeaway. Sorial delayed offside against the Huskies here as Lamb was in front of the play. Rayla able to guide the puck back to her forehand here, trying to move up that far side are the Huskies. Sent around by Alice Sorial as she heads over to the bench. Loose puck sent back out in front, blocked away by Chloe Goofers. Left behind the Colgate net as bodies colliding deep. Puck stays along the dasher here. Finally finds Sawyer for the Colgate Raiders, but it's left behind for Remick. Remick one-on-one. Remick fires. That's right into the breadbasket of Brooke Davis, and she's able to hold on to it. Busy period for Brooke Davis, and this one no exception. Colgate looked like they were organizing something moving forward, but puck left behind and a chance all alone, really one-on-one, in for Peyton Remick. Freshman from Roseau, Minnesota. Good chance, just couldn't convert. But the pressure is still heaping on in bunches for St. Cloud State. This will help to relieve some of that. Colgate clears off the face-off win. Borgiel, along with Ava Wood on the near side, hold it in on the attacking end. Mustonen trying to get clear, no avail. Palumbo swoops this one in or in. Off the backhand, finds some help there with Oben. Tied up near side half wall before it comes over to Peyton Remick. She's run into by Palumbo, 7-on-7 Crone. Borgiel fires that one sharp angle, shrugged down in net by Amelia Kariku. Still caught up on the near side boards. Too hot to handle by Ava Wood at the blue line, and the Raiders need a reset. Huskies use this as a chance to change. Puck caught quicksand there right around the red line. Borgiel trying to connect with a teammate here. It's sent near side Alexis Petford. Change ongoing here for the Raiders. Still in on the attacking end. Not quite enough to find the receiver of that pass far side. Now looking to move forward, Grace Wolf, the captain for St. Cloud, trying to find in stride. That was McCallion. Still loose in deep. Senecal tied up there with McCallion as they battle for it in deep behind the Colgate net. McCallion just out of the reach of her as Pice couldn't take it up the other way for Colgate, but now Pice with it on her stick, 2-on-1. Heading up, Pice just glanced wide as it caught a piece of Kariku. Big rebound, heads up the other way for Zimmerman. Laura Zimmerman off the break, just jammed wide. She had the netminder Davis down and out, but she couldn't hit the net. That was a chance to take a multi-goal lead, something we haven't seen here so far. Back in for Sorial. Sorial just ran out of room on the feed to Farrell. Farrell, nice link up with Urela. Urela fires in and out of the glove of Davis. Play continues here, nearing the final 90 seconds of the second. Siri Urela tries to slap her from the point. That's blocked. Good job in front by Taylor Senecal to block that away. Comes clear for Colgate. They'll try to rush the forwards off. Maybe one or two more shifts here in the second period. Davis doesn't like what she sees there. Puts the trapper over top. And with 1:11 left to go in the second period, we get one more whistle and one more defensive zone draw for Colgate to take. Lots of open ice here in the second period. A bit of caginess in that first period. The teams trying to feel each other out, but a lot of scoring chances. Goaltenders have been good. Right now, the one-goal advantage for St. Cloud State. Looking Forward though, Colgate trying to make a dent in that. Move out in front, loose puck off the save. It's still loose there, but finally getting some help, Kariku. As it's taken clear, it was a look for Alexia Oben. Just couldn't get enough mustard on the redirect. Holloway trying to find McCallion off the drop pass, but she's shouldered off. So we're rolling into the final minute of the second. A joust here. It's sent forward by Oben. Would have been onside had they moved forward, but Bryant shuts that down. Near side, Mustonen. Into the zone, one more offensive look for Grace Wolf. Wolf looked back into the slot. That was out of the reach of Peyton Remick. 15 seconds left now as it's sent down low by Colgate. Raiders got to go the length of the ice if they want one more attack on offense. But it seems like they're content to hold on to this one-goal deficit. As it's sent out of the zone one more time by the Raiders. And we head into the break here in period 2 with St. Cloud State nursing a one-goal lead over the Colgate Raiders. The only goal in that second period, the same source of the goal in period 1 for the Huskies. Sophiana Sunderland, her second goal, both on the power play in this one. And off the setup from Peyton Holloway, makes it a 2-1 advantage for the Huskies to hold on to as we go into the second period timeout. And the intermission will sweep the ice. And we'll also be joined in a few minutes by Kush Sidhu to talk about the state of the D1 and DC tournament, how the 5th installment was formatted, how it was formulated, and how the 6th one is shaping up, coming up on the horizon in 2026. A lot to be excited about as the state of women's hockey really all over the country, but particularly here in the DC metro area is shaping up to really be interesting and really be promising as it has developed for a long time, but particularly here in recent years. But that's coming up in just a few moments here in your second intermission. Once again, the 14th ranked St. Cloud State Huskies holding on to a 2-1 lead over the 12th ranked Colgate Raiders here at the D1 and DC tournament at the MedStar Capitals Iceplex.
2017, the Washington Pride have brought 17 NCAA Division I women's hockey programs to Arlington, Virginia to play an exciting weekend of women's hockey. During that time, we've seen some big names and big games in the world of women's hockey, including future pro stars. The Washington Pride thanks you for being a part of D1 and DC5 and encourage you to visit our website at pridehockey.com. Approximately 20 minutes following the completion of today's first game, our friends from Colgate will be up in the mezzanine where you'll be able to meet and greet the players. That mezzanine is up behind the St.Cloud State goal. Once again, about 20 minutes following the completion of this game, our friends from Colgate will be up in the mezzanine signing autographs, meeting, greeting, and taking pictures with fans in attendance today. Thank you to our D1 and DC supporters, Giant Food, EVAJ, Core Talent Group, the Washington Capitals, Ring Sport, and the Washington Pride for your help and support of the D1 and DC Pride.
Welcome back into the MedStar Capitals Iceplex. Second intermission between St. Cloud State and Colgate. 2-1 lead for the Huskies. But before the third period, we bring you up to the broadcast booth where I'm joined alongside the head coach of the Washington Pride and really the guy behind everything here at Kush Shidu. Kush, how you doing?
Great, thank you.
So, Kush, you get a chance here to kind of take the reins off a little bit. You just let everything play out in front of you, but there's a lot of work that goes into making this tournament year after year. Can you give the fans a little bit of an insight into what goes into planning everything?
Sure. I think this is a great opportunity for our community and the girls that play hockey in the Washington D.C. area. So it's an important event. It's an important event for us to try to make happen. We haven't done it every year, but we've done it, I would say, at least every other year. This is our fifth time since 2017-18. Honestly, just reaching out to teams that are interested in coming and then trying to get good matchups. We've been trying to do East versus West. So we've had WCHA teams, two WCHA teams, and then two teams either from the Hockey East, Atlantic, or ECAC every year.
So you mentioned that it hasn't been every year, at least not to this point, but next year it will be another installment of D1 in DC, the first time it's been back-to-back years since early on. So how exciting is that to get right into it again next year as opposed to waiting another full year?
I think it's great. We stay in a rhythm. This is all volunteer-based, so all the people that are doing statistics and doing penalty boxes, all the pre-prep stuff is all by volunteers from parents of Washington Pride. So staying into a rhythm, then some of these people can do it again next year, and it's not a big learning curve. But we're excited. We have some great teams coming. We have University of Minnesota Gophers. We have Penn State and Boston College, and then Princeton. So that's our lineup for next year. And yeah, we're super excited.
With the DC area being right now a little bit of a chasm for the next level, there isn't a Division I women's hockey team right now. There isn't a professional women's hockey team, although there will be the PWHL coming in January for that one-game showcase. How important is it to bring these teams here to give the girls that play for the Washington Pride the next look at that next level?
It's super important, and not just for kids that play for us, but I mean any young girl that plays for any club in the area, and even parents that have boys or girls, just to see, okay, this is the level of commitment, this is the level of athleticism, everything that's required to play at this level. And maybe someday some of these girls will start to play in college, and then but they need to see it, right? They need to see how good these women are and what they do. It's not just these 4 teams, but there's so many, not at just one level, but Division 3 level, that are just exceptional athletes. The more we can do to bring that to our community, the better. And hopefully it not only inspires some of our local girls to play, but to play at a very, very high level.
So if anyone at home is wanting more information, if they want to come out for tomorrow's games, where can they get more information about D1 in DC and also the Washington Pride?
Just go to pridehockey.com. The link to tickets and information on D1 in DC is right on the front. And then if you just kind of click through, you'll learn about our teams, our coaches, our schedules, what we're all about, and hopefully we can continue to develop really, really excellent girls from the DFB.
That's head coach of the Washington Pride, Coach Shudo. Coach, thanks you so much for joining us up here in the booth. Third period between the Huskies and the Raiders just moments away.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the ice, the Colgate Raiders. And please welcome back to the ice, the St.Cloud State Huskies.
Teams have taken back out to the ice here at the MedStar Capitals Iceplex in Arlington, Virginia. After 40 minutes of play, it's the Huskies that have a 1-goal lead over the Raiders. A pair of power play strikes from Sophiana Sunderland. Also, both times set up by Peyton Holloway. has given them a 1-goal advantage. The lone goal going the other way. Back in the first period, Alyssa Biederman, a fantastic show of individual effort. A swipe, a steal, a pass over to Alexia Oben. And then she's able to fire it in. It was Biederman off the give back to, at the moment, tie the game. But the lone goal in that second period, the second strike from Sunderland off the power play. We'll see if Colgate can't stay out of the box. That has been the biggest drawback for them in this game. They took 3 penalties in that second period, including a prolonged 5-on-3, which eventually led to that second goal from Sunderland. Now as we get set for the third, we'll see if the Huskies are able to reel things in here and try to get a much-needed victory. Looking for win number 6 of the season. Huskies coming in have lost 7 of their last 9, but they face some really, really tough competition. And in that stretch, it included a really well-deserved tie against top-ranked Wisconsin. They played the Badgers extremely close, ended up a 4-4 deadlock. Although the Badgers would get the shootout victory, goes officially in the books as a 4-4 tie. And here in this one, they look to avoid going to the extra frame, which we have seen before in D1 and DC. But the Huskies want to salt away a hard-fought 6th win of the season. Colgate, meanwhile, they're trying to fight their way back, looking for win number 9. As we're underway here in period 3, still at 1-goal lead for the Huskies as they work right to left off takeaway. Alice Soriel moves in one-on-one. Soriel rips for the shot, deflected out in front, and just taken away at the last second. Borgiel nearly sent that one on her own cage. Soriel back out in front. A really good block in front from Borgiel. Just went knee to the ice to take away that look. Good early chances here for St. Cloud State, trying to get out to a 2-goal lead, something that we haven't seen so far in this one. Teams traded goals in the first before Sunderland got the lone strike in period 2. Soriel gives up to Borgiel, skies this one forward. Just missed the scoreboard overhung at center ice. Crashing in from neutral ice, Biederman pounds it in deep. Get out in front, that's taken away. And heading up on the counterattack comes St. Cloud State. On the move, Sydney Lamb. She's spun down, Biederman off the takeaway. 3-on-3, the link up with Gophers. Gophers loops that one towards the net. It's hugged in by Amelia Kariku, and a little bit of pushing and shoving afterwards after it seemed to be a late whack coming in from Biederman. Shots early on in this one, rather I should say through 2 periods. A heavy advantage for St. Cloud State, 26-15 over Colgate. Raiders aren't a team that block a whole ton of shots either, so it's just been a lot of work for Brooke Davis. She's come up with 24 saves entering the third period, as this one takes a dangerous bounce in front, but blocked by Bryant and sent wide. Long home run pass set up here on the right wing to Avery Farrell. Farrell looking for the link up with Zimmerman, but it's blocked out in front, and Goofer is able to take clear. Wrapped around by Ava Sveikovsky. As the Raiders head to the bench for a change. Get around the forecheck of Oben. It's left around by Zimmerman. Ava Wood picks this one up in neutral ice. Takes it in on the left. Wood around the circles, looking for the link up with Palumbo. It's blocked away. Look to catch a piece of the stick of Volt. Still loose on the near side. Huskies can't clear. Wood back inside. Oben looking for the point pass, but that's deflected up and into the gap between the benches. Look out over there. With that one deflected by a stick of a St. Cloud player. It stays in their defensive zone as the Raiders are mounting up some pressure here early period 3, still chasing just 1 goal in this one. Sarah Stewart comes in, wins the draw for the Raiders. Stewart chasing after the loose puck. She gets back on it. Stewart finds Pice Emma Pice back up top. There's a shot through traffic. It's blocked down in front. And Sarah Stewart just couldn't get to that off the backhand. As now here's a pass looking forward for McCallion. McCallion, though, not on her stick blade. Teams cancel each other out here, neutral ice. Sveikovsky finds the move forward with Pice. Pice has been stonewalled so far in this one. Loose puck, one-time shot just sent wide. It was Senecal that just sent that one wide of the net. Sveikovsky. Senecal holds the blue line. Guides it top of the circle. Wanting some help. Gives it back up top. Pice. Look for the redirect. That's caught somewhere in someone's paraphernalia before it's spit back out to Alexis Petford. Sticks cancel each other out. Comes back out to neutral ice before it comes back in with Capetti. Dorothy Capetti, first-year student. Looking at that one towards the front of the net. Wraparound try here. Denied on the first look. Biederman still battling for it. Back down low to Georgia Sambrano. Sambrano in a tie-up. Poked out of the scrum to Borgiel. Borgiel into the corner here. And a stick slashed away, no call. There's a long-range shot, blocker to side. Dangerous rebound, though, give it up by Kariku. Not hurt by it. As this one comes all the way back down to the Colgate defensive end. Pickering looking to move forward with the help of Biederman and Borgiel far side. Off deflection, this comes down. Colgate get all 5 skaters off. Farrell, the redirection in, cancels out the icing. As play continues to roll with Jamie Spring. Spring the jailbreak pass. Finds Biederman left wing along with Wood. That pass intended from Kariku to one of her defenders. That one's taken away off the intercept. And after the ensuing play, a slashing call goes the other way. And that'll send a Colgate player to the box, a costly offensive zone penalty. It's Alexia Oben guilty of the slash, and that's not what Colgate wanted to see. Generating some momentum, got that offensive zone turnover, but maybe a little bit of frustration from Oben off the intercept. She heads to the box. Colgate shorthanded for the 5th time today. 2 for 4 so far on the power play are the St. Cloud State Huskies. A good start so far to the kill for the Raiders. Both goals from Sophiana Sunderland. Keep an eye out on 34 in black when she heads out there, but right now it's the first unit as McCallion tips it into the zone with the help of Laura Zimmerman. Soriel finds Siri Urela. Urela, though, gave it up, and now a counterattack looks shorthanded with Pice. And the Pice doesn't have the numbers. A smart move, just guides it all the way back as Colgate works precious seconds off the clock on the kill. We want to kill off these 2 minutes. Still plenty of time here in the 3rd period, but Colgate chasing that 1 goal, trailing St. Cloud State 2-1. Can't get too complacent running time off the clock. You're going to need a goal to tie this one up at the very least, if not 2. Madeline Palumbo trying to send that one further in. She's able to do it. And good forecheck here. That's tied up in behind the St. Cloud net. Hard work from Taylor Senecal, keeping this one tied in deep. Finally pried free. Lamb. Pounded in by Peyton Holloway as it is. Starting to get out there, that 2nd unit for St. Cloud State. Zimmerman finds Holloway. She couldn't get enough mustard on that to keep it in. Jamie Spring looks for the breakout pass to Biederman. She settles for setting it all the way down. One last rush, Grace Wolf. 10 seconds left on the power play as Zimmerman cuts through. Laura Zimmerman, drop pass to Soriel. She has a lane, the backhanded chance. That got through, but Davis able to stand tall and make the save with 2 seconds left on the power play. Great move here by Zimmerman. Eyes in the back of the head to find Alice Soriel all alone. And a good choice to go backhanded there, try to throw some deception on that look in on goal, but Davis sticks with it, doesn't overcommit. Key save as power play comes to an end. Much needed kill for Colgate, despite some good looks late for the Huskies. Maya Kruger takes a hit down low to move the puck forward. Soriel still out there. Soriel lost her footing, no tripping call. None there, as well as Bryant nearly spun down. Raiders get possession near side off the tie-up. It's Beauchamp. And Beauchamp can't keep the puck in, at least not with possession. Huskies move ahead with McCallion. Maria McCallion dangles inside. That's just guided wide of the net by Davis. Orela gives it over. That shot from long range. Svenja Volt sends it wide. Enough of a carom off the end boards that Davis wants to get a breather. Lots of good chances here for both teams, but particularly for St. Cloud State off that power play. They want that game sealer, that insurance goal to go up 3-1. This one is knocked down before the Huskies could shoot one towards the net. Alexis Petford moves this one ahead. Moving in, it's Stewart. Stewart just high and over the net and out of play. A good chance to get this one level. Sarah Stewart moving in here. Nice pivot towards the front of the net. The puck just ramped up on her stick at the last second. Best chance of the period for Colgate, but Kariku not troubled. Bit of an oddity to see the Colgate Raiders struggle to get on the board. Coming into today, they ranked inside the top 10 in the country in goals per game, over 3 goals per game on average. Hasn't been the case today, just the 1 goal so far. That was back in the first period from Alyssa Biederman. Sophiana Sunderland finds the move in with Pion, but Pion and company. It's like they'll have to go short-handed. An interference call behind the play, as none too happy with the call. It's Peyton Remick to the box for 2. And now maybe this is what Colgate are looking for. First power play chance in quite some time for the Raiders to work with since the first period. Now the Raiders, player to the good, see what they can do with it. That pass intended across the point is knocked away and out to safety by Holloway, forcing a reset now with Colgate. Borgiel not on the same page that time on the move-in attempt with Petford. It's cleared down and cherry picking behind the D. Look out here as a chance in and a glove save from Brooke Davis, taking away that breakaway attempt heading up the ice for St. Cloud State. It was Avery Farrell that was, not sure if she was waiting for a change, just read that play to a T. Caught in all alone. But Brooke Davis keeping this a 1-goal game. Key defensive zone win for Colgate. Still plenty of time to work on the power play. Madeline Palumbo rips up the right wing, now holds on the brakes. Sent down low to Capetti. Shifty move behind the net. Left along with Palumbo. Capetti, slick feed. It finds up top Pickering. Avery Pickering looks for the shot. Redirect. Score! Sarah Stewart changed direction just enough to get out of the reach of Kariku, and we're tied at 2. That's why you want to get pucks on net. Avery Pickering, a great job holding that puck in, and then just finding enough of the redirect. Sarah Stewart changes directions, past the netminder Kariku, and for Stewart, her 3rd goal of the year, ties us up at 2 goals apiece. A brand new hockey game with 11:07 left to go in regulation. And it was the power play that got the goal the Raiders needed. First goal since the first period. 3 of the 4 goals in this game have come on the power play. Special teams proving crucial. Looking for the first even strength goal. Swing and a miss from Mustonen, but that almost worked out. Davis having a little bit of trouble hooking that one up. See here, Mustonen didn't get a lot on that. It seemed like Davis was taking for granted that Svejkovsky would take that one away. It did come on Alexa Obain, I should say, getting credit for her second assist of the game. Obain, 2 points for Colgate, 2 points, or 2 goals, should say, for Sophiana Sunderland, 2 assists for Peyton Holloway going the other way. 2-2 hockey game as we're mid-stage period 3. Colgate applying some pressure. Pice nearly forcing a turnover and a breakaway attempt. Huskies able to collect. Moving in, there's a chance. Pion, her shot just glanced wide off the stick blade of Brooke Davis. Raiders slowing the pace a little bit with Sawyer. Sydney Sawyer fires this into the attacking end. Friendly bounce towards Obain. Alexia Obain tied up down low. Huskies able to get possession, but not easily able to leave their zone. Moran finds some help far side. A tie-up comes back to Maria Moran. Moran dances inside. One more move off the deke. Just lost the puck off the poke check from Davis. Hard work getting it out with Borgiel. Now Abel Wood on the left side takes a little bit of a check from Sunderland. That's all right by the referee's eyes. Delayed offside prevents a move forward from Colgate. He stall out that initial look from the Huskies. Sunderland did not get the red line. Just a little bit of a mental lapse from Sophiana Sunderland. An icing call goes against the Huskies with 9:09 to go in the third. Exciting game to kick off D1 and DC5. After the conclusion of this one, Clarkson and Ohio State get the nightcap, tentatively set for a 4 o'clock face-off. We'll keep you posted on that. There's a chance out in front, a nice glove save from Kariku, denying the look in from Dorothy Capetti. Capetti, the first-year student from Toronto, Ontario, the latest chance, but denied by Kariku as we hit the final official timeout in this one. 9:02 to go, period 3, and we're all tied up 2-2 between St.Cloud State and Colgate after the recent game time strike. Sarah Stewart, the redirect for the point shot of Avery Pickering, and the next goal could be the game winner to kick off D1 and DC5. In case you missed it, we were joined in the second period intermission by head coach of the Washington Pride, Kushinu. And by the way, the Washington Pride has sent over 160 girls to NCAA D1 and D3 programs, as well as several national team players and 2 Olympians. The Pride continue to lead girls hockey in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia region. Be sure to check them out at pridehockey.com. Also check out that link if you want to join us tomorrow as D1 and DC tournament wraps up. 4 teams that you'll see here today. Also play tomorrow, a little bit of a mix-up in the matchups, but to keep things fresh and interesting. A thriller here to start things off. Colgate win the offensive zone draw. Let's move down low to Beauchamp. Beauchamp into the slot, and Biederman sent that one wide. Biederman's been buzzing out there today. Just the 1 goal to show for it. But that was a great chance to get Colgate the first lead of the game. Pion beats out Biederman on the near side race. And now a chance for St. Cloud State. It's a 2-on-1. Farrell has the help of Wolf. Farrell swing and miss on the shot. Borgiel takes it away anyways. 2-on-1. It's not often that the 1 comes up victorious, but a great defensive stand by Casey Borgiel as this is whistled down for offside against Colgate, but Borgiel denies that 2-on-1 look the other way. Huskies have been caught in a defensive posture for most of this period, trying to get the wheels moving back in their direction. Been a lot of the Raiders ever since that goal. That's been the fruits of their labor. They're hoping that there's more where that came from. Maria McCallion denied of that move forward. It comes back the other way for Colgate. Their opposite number 44, Emma Pice, trying to move that ahead. And move stalls out at the stripe. Back and forth we go. The first game of the D1 and DC5 tournament. Nice move into the attacking end with Sydney Jackal for St. Cloud. Jackal pivots off of her marker. Looks for a shot on goal, but the referee blocked that away. Inadvertent block shot there for the man in the zebra stripes. A break here as the puck intercepted. Sawyer fires a shot. It's blocked away. A good stand by Maria Moran. Maria Moran, a key block shot there as McCallion finds the puck in center ice. Puck bounces around possession. Ava Wood carries it in for Colgate. Wood looking for that zero angle shot. Moran blocked it away, but it's loose near side. Stays with the Raiders. Sawyer just guides that across out of the reach of the waiting defender, and now heads up the other way for St. Cloud. Zimmerman shrugs off the check. Couldn't keep her skates underneath her though. Puck does stay in. Zimmerman back on her feet and back with possession. Laura Zimmerman tied up, now spun down. Jamie Spring able to clear out here for the Colgate Raiders. Ava Wood sends it the rest of the way down for a much-needed change. Oh, look out, a collision, a loose glove, appeal for a penalty, none coming. Puck turned over to Colgate, but stripped back away from Biederman. And sent down the ice by Soriel. Finds Farrell in stride. Farrell and company looking for the return pass to Soriel. It's intercepted. Biederman back the other way. Biederman beats up her marker in Lamb, looking back out in front, but it comes over to the near side boards. Collision as the puck is held up there. Lamb takes it off of that loose glove. Comes back out to center ice. Borgiel sends it forward, but play is whistled dead, and it looks like St. Cloud has been caught with too many players on the ice. It is the case. 6 players were caught out there at the moment for St. Cloud State. A mishap at the bench could give Colgate a chance to take the lead with 5:38 to go in period 3. It was a power play goal earlier in the frame from Sarah Stewart off the long-range shot from Avery Pickering. Tied this game up on the power play. Now Colgate back to the player advantage. They're 1 for 2 on it today. Trying to take their first advantage. Sunderland in the box, serving the bench minor. And now the Huskies go to work on the PK. Setting up on the perimeter. That pass a little bit too far in front of Bosha. Rather, that's Oben that had to take it away. And the Huskies able to send this all the way down. The third period is key to keep those penalty killers fresh. Early change for St. Cloud State on the kill. Pickering. Nice move in. It's deflected down by Madeline Palumbo. Palumbo back to Oban, far side. She finds some room. Behind the back to Palumbo. Reset up top to Pickering. Pickering to Capetti. Capetti shot blocked. And now settled down by Siri Urela. Urela to Soriel. Soriel, the shorthanded look. She fires. She's knocked down. Stuffed on the breakaway chance, but she's hooked away from the net. And that is one way to kill a penalty, drawing one of your own. Fantastic work by Rayla. The block shot, the turnover. And then setting up the breakout pass to Alice Soriol. Soriol denied of the breakaway chance. She's able to draw the penalty as it's the most recent goal scorer, Sarah Stewart, that's into the box. Seems like there's a few Huskies players that might be wanting the penalty shot. But instead, 2 minutes up on the board over top of the Colgate Raiders' name. We skate 4-on-4 for the next minute. I want to say 61 seconds. Well, that's simple enough. 4:40 to go in the third. 2-2 hockey game. Exciting opener to D1 and DC5. Defensive zone draw won by Colgate. With that open space out there, they carry it in. Pice. Held up along the wall. It's still loose there. Pice trying to get her stick on. An aggressive play. As out of a crease playing it is Amelia Kariku. Can't get it out. Comes over for a shot. It's blocked up and out of play off of Borgiel's effort. Good play that time by Miley Pion, getting the blocked shot and keeping the workload light on Amelia Kariku. Keep an eye out on the shot counter. Going the other way, Brooke Davis topping out at 35 shots faced this season. That wasn't a shutout victory against Harvard back on October 25th, but she's been tested so far today. Onside zone entry for St. Cloud State. So 24 seconds on the 4-on-4. Inadvertent blocked by Rayla. Does stay in here for the Huskies before it's finally taken clear, and maybe numbers forward for the Raiders. Biederman works in. Biederman's shot glances off the glove of Kariku and off the glass. Cyril Rayla biding time, waiting for Sunderland to join the play. She does now. Power play begins. Sophiana Sunderland met by the waffle board of the netminder Davis. Spit out of that scrum to the far side to Spring, and Jamie Spring sends that all the way down. Sunderland has some pressure from the back. Nothing coming easy now on the power play. Officially the 6th power play look of the game for St. Cloud State. Wolf sending that one over. The one-time shot just sent high by Pion. A collision there. Puck comes out of that with the Huskies. Pion back over. There's a shot through traffic. Knocked down. Chance there for Pion to recollect, but she wasn't ready for it. And the Raiders send it all the way down. They look poised to kill off these final few seconds, does Colgate. And they do. Out of the box comes Sarah Stewart. Trying to convert some momentum off of that kill was Biederman, but to no avail. Tied up with Lamb, no call as the pucks move forward. Laura Zimmerman. Knocked down, but not out. Soriel trying to dance into the middle. Can't get it there. Lamb keeps it alive for St. Cloud State. Tried to poke check on Biederman, but can't come up with possession. Sydney Sawyer slows the roll while finding himself all alone. Chloe Goofers. Goofers set up to the one-time shot. Petbird hit the Zamboni door with the shot. Goofers off the exchange. Hands it over up top. Through traffic, never found the net. Could Senecal. Senecal takes her spot back at the blue line. Goofers looking out in front. Couldn't get the screen there. Found herself all alone there far side. Petford spun herself out of the play. Huskies heading up ice. Peyton Remick is spun down. Pion couldn't knock that one down at the blue line. It's Pice. Emma Pice trying to find her way into the slot. A few black jerseys cut her away from the puck. Loose puck in front of the St. Cloud net, but they carry it away. A minute 17 left to go in regulation. There's a quick shot through a traffic. Peone didn't hit the net. Back down low, St.Cloud. St.Cloud. Pass out of the reach of Pepper. Pace tied up there with Peone. And now here comes Maria McCallion. McCallion's shot. Sent wide for good measure by Davis. Into the final minute of regulation. And look out, here comes Madeline Palumbo. Palumbo, the backhanded shot, scooped up easily by Carrico. She looked like she thought about playing it, but the wise move is to hold on for the whistle with 43.8 left. Potential for an extra period, it waits on the horizon. You know, both of these teams want to get that game winner before the final 43.8 ticks off the board. Face off to the right of Kariku. Possession battled for, and Colgate comes up with it. Pass up top to Pickering. Pickering, the redirect. That one's blocked wide. It looked like Arela might have gotten a piece of that, but still came on goal towards Kariku. Long pass, finds the tape of Zimmerman. Laura Zimmerman, no help there for the Huskies, but coming out of nowhere, it's Soriel. Soriel's shot blocked. Ice opens up the other way, 10 seconds left. Palumbo races to it. Madeline Palumbo from the half wall. Looks out in front. Oben was tied up there, comes around instead. And the final second ticks off the big board here at MedStar Capitals Iceplex. And the first game of D1 and DC5 heads to overtime. Nothing to separate St. Cloud State and Colgate through 60 minutes. A quick recap of the scoring in this one. It was 1-1 after the first. Sophiana Sunderland scored on the power play for St. Cloud State before Alyssa Biederman tied it up for Colgate. After two, it was a one-goal advantage for the Huskies. Sunderland, her second goal on the power play, gave the Huskies a 2-1 lead after 40. With a lone goal in the third period that we just saw tipped by Sarah Stewart on the power play, redirecting a point shot from Avery Pickering.
For the first time in D1 and DC history, we go to
tied things up 2-2, and my memory's failing me here. I thought I remembered an overtime game earlier on in D1 and DC, but now that I remember, it was a game between, I believe it was Ohio State involved. It was tied late going in that one, but a goal in the final minute ended that one. So this is the first overtime game in D1 and DC history. It involves the 12th ranked Colgate Raiders and the 14th ranked St. Cloud State Huskies. There will be no shootout here if this game cannot find a winner during the 3-on-3 overtime. It'll just end officially in a tie, and it will end in a tie without a shootout victor. So the Huskies, Raiders, they'll be hunting for that overtime winner. It's 3-on-3. We'll see who the teams send out. Colgate looks like they have Stewart, Biederman, and Borgiel. Meanwhile, on the other side for St. Cloud State, it's Farrell alongside Soriel on the forwards. And the captain, Grace Wolf, is the defender for the Huskies. First overtime game in D1 and DC history. Will we have a winner, or will it stay tied at 2? Let's find out. The opening draw is controlled by St. Cloud State as Grace Wolf circles around. Wolf gets the first shot off, but it hits high off the glass. Partially blocked that time by Sarah Stewart. It stays in the zone, looking for Wolf. Instead, Soriel gets it up top. Nice pivot to find some space against Biederman. Alice Soriel, the backhanded shot. That goes off the mask of Brooke Davis. Play continues. Soriel. Battle in front of net. Meanwhile, Soriel doesn't like what she sees, but she heads back out to neutral ice. Loses her balance off the check. Puck is gathered up by Avery Farrell, although she is sent packing by Sarah Stewart on the forecheck. Stewart, a hard crash into the boards. physical play, but some ice opens up for Grace Wolf. Wolf watched the boards by Emma Pice. Teams tie up on the far side wall. Colgate this year in overtime games, 1-2-1 record. The same can be said for St. Cloud State. Something's got to give, you feel. Looking for some space. It's Avery Pickering for Colgate. Pickering gives it over to Oben. No room to shoot for her. She gives it over to Pickering. Pickering moves in. Pickering shot knocked away by the blocker, and all alone, here comes Sunderland. Sophiana Sunderland in alone on Davis, and she scores! Sophiana Sunderland, the hat-trick hero, the overtime winner, as the Huskies win Game 1 of D1 and DC5. What a game from Sophiana Sunderland. 2 power play goals early that gave the Huskies the lead, and then she sends Colgate packing with the overtime winner. 1:35 into the extra frame. Sophiana Sunderland takes it from her own zone, and she sends St. Cloud State into the Saturday slate with the 1-0 record. Sunderland in one fell swoop in just over 62 minutes of time here in DC. She doubles her goal scoring total of the year, and Sunderland, the hat-trick hero, makes St. Cloud State victorious, ending this tough skid and giving them 2 wins over the last 3 games. Tough slate tomorrow as they take on Clarkson, but St. Cloud State starting off their slate here this Thanksgiving weekend on the right foot. Meanwhile, Colgate tomorrow, they've got a tough task as they take on number 2 ranked Ohio State, who we'll see in a matter of moments. The Buckeyes set for a matchup against the Clarkson Golden Knights. Game 2 of day 1 at D1 in DC5. Be sure to not go too far. Game 1, very exciting. Expecting more of the same in Game 2 as Clarkson and Ohio State square off. We stick with you for the 3 stars of the game as Alexia Oben gets the 3rd star.
Second star from St. Cloud State with 2 assists, number 18, Peyton Holloway.
Peyton Holloway gets the 2nd star with the pair of assists earlier on.
And today's first star from St. Cloud State with the hat-trick in the overtime game-winning goal, number 34, Sophiana Sunderland. Those are today's sports announcing.
Sophiana Sunderland gets the 1st star of the game. We'll stick with you just a few moments. Don't go too far. We'll try to get an interview with one of the coaches for St. Cloud State. 3-2 overtime win for the Huskies.
703-398-5343 or visit us at sportsannouncing.com. Ladies and gentlemen, our next game is coming up as Ohio State takes on Clarkson. That game will start at approximately 4 p.m. this afternoon. Both of these teams will